Welcome back to the podcast. And for today's episode, I wanted to share with you 5 unhinged things I do as a shadow business coach. And I'm about to tell you these 5 things I do with my clients. And I actually, when I was thinking about this, I was also about this episode, but I created a reel on that, and people were very excited about seeing this. So, yeah, let's just bring it to the podcast as well. Have a little bit more time to talk about this, but I feel actually, if you don't know shadow work, if you have never worked with me, then this sounds very unhinged. But they work. And I'm surprised, why is this working, or how did this change so much for a person? Um, and then I don't find the answer because a lot of it is in the subconscious. So let's get into it. I'm a shadow business coach, which means that when your business is not working, I am I you can ask me about your funnel, but I'm also looking at, okay, so where is this happening? And so where is what is actually happening underneath? Sorry. And I don't do this in my smaller programs, or I just like to do strategy as well. I love strategy so much. But when you're inside my mastermind or one of my VIPs, or one of my one-to-one coaching, we will talk about, instead of a funnel, for instance, for your launches, we will talk about your father. And so here's 5 things that I do in sessions with my clients. And I just picked a few examples, or possibilities if we're going to do that. So number 1 is, when a launch is not working, I am looking at the relationship you have with your father. And we're not doing this metaphorically, but we're actually looking at it. So often the thing sabotaging a launch is not your offer, but it's most of the time it's an old pattern around. And here there's a lot of ins, ands, ifs, or buts, right? But generally speaking, I can really put my hand in fire, as we say in Dutch. I don't know how to say that in English, but you get what I'm saying. So when you're launching something, most of the time it's not your offer, but it's also an old pattern that you have around authority, or your worth, or being seen by someone who was supposed to be in your corner and wasn't. And this is often a role that fathers take on. And this is, we're not, in my coaching, we don't blame our parents or grandparents or whatever, but it's just, we do get aware of their role, and we're thinking, oh, why, not so much why, but, oh, apparently this is the reason why I'm acting like this. So, you can, and I help you with that. I help you rewrite your sales page 10 times if you want to. But if the pattern is still running the show, then your launch won't move. It won't do anything. So we're looking at your father, and then and we might have a conversation about that. We might have a hypnosis about that, really dependent obviously on the situation, but that's what we actually look at when a launch is not going as planned. Okay, number 2 is, this is a big one I see with a lot of women, is when you spend your money, the second that it lands in your bank account, then I'm going to look at the relationship with your mother. If you've followed me for a longer time, the Shadow Business podcast, then you know that I'm looking at that. So money that can stay has nothing to do with spending. I see all these people doing no buy years, and I'm thinking, oh, please just do something with the relationship with your mother, because every mother problem starts there with your mother. So actually, spending your money as soon as you have it, and there's more money issues, right? It's a lot actually, but I wanted to keep it concise for this podcast. But when you're immediately spending it, it is a safety problem with your mother. Money. Why do I say this all the time? Or it is also a worthiness problem, and this is something that you might have learned a long time ago. And so we go find where that started. So this could either be that your mother, okay, so it could be many outcomes, right? I'm just taking you through it. So it could be that your mother actually thinks that you're not worth it. This is gut wrenching. I know this, but this happens often, often in the subconscious of your mother, right? So she's not conscious of it, but as a child, you picked this up. Before you were 7, 8, you really picked this up. But also, still as a child, even if your mother is no longer with us, you know this. You know this from deep in your mind, in your subconscious mind. You know, ooh, actually, my mother doesn't think I'm worth it. And we don't have to blame her for that. We're not blaming our mothers or fathers or whoever. But it's just, but what we also won't do is that we walk away from it, because that's exactly what shadow work is. If something is hard, that's an indication. That's data. We have to work with that. We're not going to ignore that. So I'm kind of forcing you to go through that. Could also be money and worth. Could also be that your grandmother didn't think that your mother was worth it. Could also be the mother of your father, but it could, most of the time is the mother of your mother. But it could also be that your grandmother didn't think she was worth it, which makes more sense, because I'm not saying it should, but 2 generations ago, women were not worth it. Literally, they were not worth money. Or maybe your great grandmother. And so every thought that is passed on, and every behavior is passed on, most of it subconsciously, or saying, oh no, that's just how our family does it. Yeah, okay. Really, you're grown up. You don't have to do it exactly as your family did it. So when you notice, I'm spending my money immediately, when you receive it, I would be very interested to looking at the relationship you have with your mother. And we will do, you won't do a conversation with your mother, right? We are working in the subconscious. We're kind of working from a distance with your mother. It's very strange. When I did this work, also on the money part, it actually was very nice in the end. How the bond with the full relationship with my mother changed when I did this money work as well. But I did the work, and she was kind of, yeah, folding around me in a different way. I don't know how else to explain this. Okay, let's go to number 3. When you are afraid to be visible online, or to show all of yourself, to show all 360 degrees of yourself, which is also the divine proportion, which was the previous episode, we will do probably a table constellation around visibility. And a table constellation is like a family constellation, but it's on the table. It's with separate subjects. And yes, of course, we can do a content strategy call, right? But the constellation is, we look at the blogs, or whatever influences them. I will ask some questions, right? So what something has to do with visibility, or something with content. And yeah, if somebody tells me I don't know what to post, that's never the case. But it's just something underneath, and then it has to do probably a lot with safety and visibility. So that's probably something I would do then. Number 4 is when you are self-sabotaging your business and actually really making it bad, right? We have to do a regression through hypnosis, because if you are actively working against your own success, it has nothing to do with discipline, but it is something in your life, in your most of the time childhood, installed that pattern, and we are going to find where that is. And when you have found that, it's easier to be, because you can be aware of, oh, now I'm self-sabotaging again. Yes, okay, good. That's surface level mindset work. Yes. But if you know exactly where the pattern is coming from, then it's so much easier to rewrite the story and everything. So we go find it. And number 5, when you, for instance, post something, or when you have a launch and you all of a sudden ghost your audience, this is what the majority of people are doing. So you do a launch, you start a launch. Let's say the launch is 3 weeks. Let's make it short. So a launch could be 1 week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, you know. But I'm not getting into strategy right now, but it could be interesting. But anyway, so you posted, yay, I have a new thing, I have a new offer, I have, you know, something you can buy from me. And then, okay, first day, maybe some people buy, then nobody buys. And then you won't sell it, or, well, you just won't show up anymore because you're thinking, oh, nobody's interesting. Instead, what you should do, strategy wise, is you should keep on posting, keep on talking about this. I have this too all the time. I'm I'm launching things and then people are buying when it already started. I just had this also with my program Viral Virgin. I was like, oh, this is so interesting. You know, there's already trainings there. And that's when people jump in. And this was simply because the fact that I kept on posting. If I would have not posted, so that was a strategy, but I was different before that, and I had to do something. And what I'm doing with my clients, and something that I did with myself as well, is that I did a hypnosis for the future, and I will do a hypnosis for your future. And so sometimes, you know, the block is not in the past. Sometimes it's also that you're being afraid of who you become if this actually works. So we are actually going to meet her, that future self, first. So that's what we will probably do. So here's the thing. None of this is actually instead of strategy. This is not it. It's what makes the strategy actually lands. And with strategy, I mean content strategy, launch strategy, over strategy, all the strategies. And so you can have the perfect funnel or the perfect content plan or the perfect offer, and you can still watch yourself not doing the thing. And that's not a strategy gap, it's actually a shadow. And so I've created a free resource for you. You can download it. It's a hypnosis, and you can get started on this, right? Because I want you to experience this too. I recorded the hypnosis. It's totally safe. It's not like your life will change, of course. It's not like everything is different. But I think you can grab it. It's a really really good place to start. So, if any of those five hits a little too close to home, that's not a coincidence. That's the next thing to look at, and you can find how to work with me below in the show notes. Bye.